on in. Come on in. Come on in. Now come on in. Now come. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Right?
Hi, everybody. Yeah. What's up, y'all? It's your girl BondyBlue. I'm back on this good Monday with this new AT&T internet service, girl. So we could talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I do feel like I'm probably going to do Married to Medicine in this same live. I didn't know if I was going to be able to finish my notes for that, but I did. So I definitely want to come to y'all with the foolishness. Okay. We definitely have to get into all of it. I have strong emotions. I have strong feelings about it. I've seen what some of y'all have got to say about my feelings about this whole situation. And I just feel like, child, I'm just here to tell y'all my opinion. I'm gonna just stand on business. I'm sorry. Like, y'all just gonna have to feel however y'all feel. Okay. All right. We can hear each other. Y'all can see me. It's clear. Is it good? Okay. Let's go ahead and navigate into the episode. I want to start by telling y'all that I really be trying to like see Kenya's side in things. And the reason why I say that is because I never really saw it for Kenya. As soon as Kenya came on Real Housewives of Atlanta and started acting the ass, I was no longer a fan of hers. So over the years, I have definitely let it be known that I think she's a mean girl. I think she will go out of her way to do the most to people. And I think it was just a reflection of how she felt about herself. I think she would go to hell on people because she didn't really feel loved by her mother. She might have felt loved by other people, but that hole inside of her, I feel like it really pushed the way she navigated in this space on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, since going through that real weird ass relationship with that weird ass dude, what's his name? Mark, if you will. After that, and having her baby Brooklyn, I feel like what we have seen from Kenya is somebody that has grown because now they can actually see themselves in someone that they love. And now that they can see themselves in somebody that they love, they will handle situations with just a little bit more care for themselves. Okay. Because I feel like some people don't realize this. Yes, there is a time and a place for everything. And sometimes you have to go in. Sometimes you got to crash out. Sometimes you got to back people up off of you. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Everything is on an individual basis out here. Okay. But I think Kenya showed us a pattern of behavior of always just completely taking it way too far when it didn't even need all of that. Like your response would not be like equal to whatever initiated the issue, you know, as they would say. Somebody will go there with Kenya and Kenya will go to hell, you know? And I feel like that's what we saw because Brit can talk as much shit as she wants to. Oh, I didn't want Kenya. I didn't want Kenya to be threatened by me. I didn't want Kenya to be fearful of me. That's not what I was trying to do. I would never harm anybody. Flashback. Oh, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. Because you're not just gonna handle me like that. I have whips and pistols ready for you. You're not gonna handle me like that. You're gonna learn today. She had all that to say. Kenya stood there. Okay. I hear her talking all of this shit. I'm not gonna respond right now. Oh no. But see, once she got home and she really thought about how that little girl with that funny looking fucking face played with her, like when she really sat back and thought about it, I feel like Kenya got pissed off like after the fact. I feel like she had learned to disengage when people try to take it there. Her initial reaction was the right one. It was the right one. And in all honesty, if she would have read that girl for filth in another setting, like can you really allow for her emotions? I think she's self-sabotaged. I'm gonna just be real with y'all. Y'all, the light is doing too much with these glasses. I think that Kenya self-sabotage. I think that she was very scared about how the whole situation was going to work out. And so, like I told y'all last review, I feel like her anxiety about her shop not working out the way she wanted it to, the pressure that she was under. And then you add that with the way Kenya has always gotten a great return on such huge negative responses to shit. Kenya is one of those people that has been um congratulated or rewarded. She's been rewarded for bad behavior. And I think that in the age of, social media and reality TV, what we've learned is that these situations, can be used to your benefit, but it's still gonna have its negative effects on you, especially if it's something that you continue to play out. And I think when she decided to do all of the shit that she did at her show, what you did is you took yourself out of it. It wasn't about you. It wasn't about your business. It wasn't about your daughter. It wasn't about any of that. It was about taking this moment to push that woman so far down underneath your feet that you would then feel like the queen you see yourself as. You had to do it all the way to the ground. You really pushed that bitch in the dirt with your heel. And it made you look bad. It made you look bad, Kenya. And that's because at some point, maturity should teach you, and this is just me, y'all, it's how I feel. Maturity should teach you that your responses are a reflection of you. And just because someone does something to you, it does not mean you are not responsible for how you respond to what they do to you. And I think a lot of people adopt this mentality that, oh, this person did this to me. You can't tell me how to react. Yeah, a little bit. But once you've responded in a certain way, it more so becomes about who you are and not who the other person is. So as much as Kenya wanted to make that about Brit being a whore, what she really did is showed us that she was willing to go so to hell to drag somebody else down that she basically dragged herself down in the process. That statement about when you dig a ditch for somebody else, you make sure you dig your own grave too. That's where that comes from. Because at some point, when you lower yourself so much so that you can get vengeance on somebody, you are now really lowering yourself. You meeting them where they at, and you are now degrading yourself. So you can't pedestalize yourself in a situation and act like you're better than when you just made this person look way less fucked up because of how you overreacted. If Kenya would have just called all of that out, I'm gonna tell y'all what Kenya really should have did. And I know Kenya know this. She's smart. After she stopped being mad and really sat back and thought about it, I'm sure she assessed that the better way to handle this would have been to ignore Brit at the event, let her feel played, let her leave the flowers outside. Don't make your big moment about her. And then wait till y'all are at a dinner and they're forcing y'all for the second or third time to have a conversation. After you've ignored her and acted like she didn't exist, the girls are going to always try to force y'all to have a conversation. That's how we have scenes. So the next time y'all had a dinner where it was just y'all, just the cast, not your business and a whole group of people, that's when you lay all of that shit out. and you don't use visual aids. You don't use visual aids because at the end of the day, I feel like as a woman, unless someone has done the exact same type of situation to you, slut shaming women in such a manner is really just a tool for these niggas. And you get nothing out of that. I feel like women don't really benefit from slut shaming or making other women look bad. Like, you really don't gain anything from that, because essentially you are still going to get viewed however you're viewed, because that's just how it is. Just like y'all know with respectability politics, I always like to draw the comparison to racism, right? What we've learned over the years is it doesn't matter how perfect of a black person you try to be and how much you toe the line and you do everything somebody told you to do. Some racist person or some racist institution can still make you a victim to their racism, no matter how perfect you attempt to be. It's the same thing with women. There is no amount of being pure. There is no amount of being, a victim. There's no amount of perfection that one can achieve in order to make everybody treat them the way they should be treated, because it's always a reflection of what's going on in that person, more so than it is really about you, who are the subject to whatever they're going through. Kenya really took this to the level of making it about, okay, now something wrong with you, sis. And I'm sad about that. I'm so sad about that. I feel like it's been a few times that Kenya has done this type of thing, and I hate that for her, because I really feel like it is like an example of somebody like losing themselves, losing control of themselves, not seeing how they should really be carrying themselves in a situation. You don't have to lower yourself in order to make that girl feel like shit. Okay? You've now made Brit a victim in something that really she caused. Like, you shouldn't have handled it like that, Kenya. And I feel like that just goes to show that I think that Kenya's always battling with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's always battling to be the better version of herself that I think she has fought to be. But the fact that she really has yet to take responsibility for this situation is the issue for me. Because yes, Brit was wrong, but you took it somewhere that as a woman you shouldn't have never took it to. Like, let's be real. It shouldn't have never got to a cardboard cutout, a 3-board cardboard cutout. At some point, I feel like, I don't care what none of y'all are talking about. If you are that invested in making somebody else look bad, you're making yourself look bad. I don't care what y'all are talking about. That was the point I was trying to make when it came to Spice and that situation with Bambi. Like, when you continually, try to pedestalize yourself and step over somebody else, when you get down there to tussle with them, you now on their level. You can't keep acting like you so much better than somebody that you getting down off your pedestal to tussle with. So I really feel like I wish Kenya would have handled this differently, but I do see why she handled it the way she did. I don't think it was right, but I think that it was an ego thing. She had to knock Brit all the way to the fucking pavement. She had to. And really what she should have did, if she was really trying to hurt Brit, she really should have played nice with Brit, took the flower, said it was all good, and then got up there and posted and put all that shit out there. Okay. That way the girl would have had to be in the room and embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? She was already gone. At this point, you talking to somebody who's walked away from you. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but still, like, because now everybody else know that you was out here sucking dick, and there's video of it. But who ain't out here sucking dick? Who ain't out here sucking dick? Like, I just, that's tough. That was just real tough, Kenya. You did not have to take it there, my girl. And I'm so disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Oh, thank you, Akir Fire, for the super sticker. Thank you, Kevin Preston. While it was terrible to watch, I'm thankful that Britt wasn't in the building when she did that, because that would have made it so much worse. Thank you, T Dollar. Kenya took accountability on Tamara Hall show. Not really. No, she didn't. I'm gonna tell you why she didn't, T. Kayla Johnson, thank you. I agree. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Thank you, love. I'm gonna tell you why she didn't take accountability, because Kenya acted like she was actually like scared. And that the reason why she responded the way she did was out of protection for her and her daughter. If you think somebody is going to pull a pistol on you from an argument that you didn't even really engage in, why do you think antagonizing them to this level is the safe thing to do? That's the reason why she didn't fully take accountability. Also, last night, when Kenya wrote out her message and all of that, wishing everybody luck, there was somewhere in there that I feel like should have been somebody should have said something. Something like, there should have been a moment of, I took it too far, I did too much, and I'm gonna read it once we get to the end of this. But I don't think she did. I don't think that she did. Yeah, I did it for my daughter. That's cap, y'all. That's cap. You don't antagonize situations and make life harder for you and your daughter for your daughter. That's not how that works. That was about her ego. What would have been good for her daughter is for her to teach her daughter how to handle people without dragging yourself down. And sometimes walking away from people and letting them know that this huge response that they think they're about to get from you, you're not about to get. To me, you made Brit more famous than she would have been had you not responded the way you did. And that's what I'm saying. You really could not win when you played like that. When Nene said you can't, you can't win when you play dirty. This is one of those times that that quote is right. And Brit is not famous. But we did not know who the fuck Brit was before Kenya did all of this. And I feel like we still would have been confusing her and Angela by way of the nose job had this situation not already been on our mind ahead of time. She would have blended into the fucking background if Kenya had not responded to her the way she did. So I still feel like, this is really, this was a Kenya thing. Trust me, there's gonna be so much to get in Brit's ass about. We didn't already saw ahead of time you didn't say something disrespectful to Kelly for her to no longer be on your side, even though she was defending you in the scene. Like I feel like a good girlfriend should do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to stand here and let you disrespect my friend like that. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here because you wilding. This is too much. I also don't like the way Kenya, you did so much that you made Portia seem more responsible. That's another thing that made me mad, bitch. Kenya, you were supposed to be grown in this motherfucker. And you went down so low that you made all of these less than smart young women in comparison to yourself look like they were smarter because they wouldn't have did all of this. Simone Privat, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, Bondi, I believe the way Kenya treats women is tied to her mom. Yeah, it is to her mommy issues. I think she sees her mom and women who mistreat her because her mom did it to her. No, I do. I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think it's the reason why she goes in so much. Because all of y'all are an example of how her mom treated her. Like that's psychology. How we treat each other is a reflection of how we see ourselves, which is based on the culmination of our experiences as kids. And who has the biggest effect on us? Our parents, our familiar relationships, the people that raise us, that we had to depend on for life at some point, the trust that we had to build with somebody to take care of us. That affects the way we trust ourselves. It affects the way we trust other people, because if you couldn't trust the people who were supposed to take care of you, it makes it so hard to trust anybody else. And if you know that the people that are closest to you will hurt you with such malice and disregard, like Kenya's mom did, then you know that anybody on the fucking street can treat you the same. So your responses will, be, I think, more, I guess, altered at a higher level than they would have you not already experienced this pain so often in your life that now you're at a point that anytime you see it, I'm knocking that shit the fuck down. Fabulous Faces, thank you for the super chat. People that were actually there said Brit was actually in the room when Kenya revealed the photos, but they edited it as if she was outside. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. That's really how it hit. I'm gonna tell you, like, bitch, when I tell you crying in a car. So y'all, let's get into it, right? So episode, Shamia invites Brit and Angela to her house. Angela says that she got the backlash from the owner of the bank restaurant that they were at, bar, whatever it is, because you mentioning guns and stuff and all of that. So now we got to wonder, do we need more security? All right. They feel Kenya was cutting her off. But what I did get from this scene is that Brit wanted them to agree that Kenya was acting weird with her. Therefore, the way she responded to Kenya made sense. However, they did not agree. But Angela, I want to point out how fucking messy I believe you are. And we still need some more time for this to develop. But I do feel like you a messy somebody, because we thought, and I'm gonna apologize to Brit for this, because when Brit said that somebody, I didn't write the question that, she asked Kenya about, oh, can you say something nice to Brit? she said, "Oh, I didn't even write this." Now, obviously, you've been talking to people about it, so they did it for you. Angela did do it for her, but she didn't know that Angela was going to do it. Angela was trying to be messy, but she says, I was on your side. That's what she said. So entering this situation, you was on Brit's side being messy against Kenya. The shit blow up, and then you go to Kenya and say you was on her side and she didn't deserve that, and you was the only one that texted her. So to me, I feel like you was low-key playing both sides of the fence. And then let's talk about your personal life, because I feel like you might be doing the same shit. I think that sometimes like women have these certain personality traits. And one of those personality traits is, if you are in a relationship with a man that makes you feel disempowered, you will then go and have this power play situation in your friendships with women, because those are the only people you feel like you can have some type of control over. You can't control your man, who you really at times are trying to get on the same page with, and that's such an exhausting feeling. So you have to find that feeling somewhere else. So when she was talking to her daughter Amari is 25 years old. From what I understand, Amari was living in the same house that Angela and Charles bought for her mom and her sisters. Her mom has bipolar disorder and recently has said that she's cured. So I feel like that means she may no longer be on medication. Either way, she says she's proud of her mom. Her mom used to use being bipolar as a crutch. So now they were supposed to all be living in that house. Amari is 25, right? Amari wanted to use the car that is supposed to be for the grandmother. I guess the grandmother or the sister, the aunt, wanted her to give them money for it. And so they got into it. It turns into a fight. Amari ends up leaving the house. The sister slash auntie jumped all in Amari's face. The grandmother, Angela's mom, did not protect Amari. So now Amari is feeling away because they're always there for them. They're always helping them. It's given y'all are like, the less than smart, we work regular odd jobs, we get a little money here and there, but we're really not planning to make our lives better. So we're comfortable living off of somebody that does. That's low key what it feel like to me. You want to take care of your mom, but why do you then have to also take care of your adult siblings? And I feel like taking care of your 25-year-old is one thing, but then we need to have a conversation about why you felt the need to pick sides between your mama and your husband, why you felt needs to pick sides between your mama and them and your daughter. That makes me feel on some level like you're playing both sides of the fence in a lot of the situations in your life, Angela. Like, you're doing it with your husband and your family, you're doing it with your daughter and your family, you're doing it with the girls. And I feel like that's also like a reflection of you and whatever you got going on. You need to, I'm sure you in therapy and shit. Talk to them about why you seem to play both sides of the fence to such a degree. It feels like maybe a people pleaser thing that you may need to work on. I don't know. But the daughter not telling her that she was married. And then the daughter saying, oh, I know it was 4 months, but it's not even that big of a deal. Y'all are overreacting. Y'all are acting in a way like y'all making it bigger than I was making it. Like, it's not even that big of a deal. Nothing has changed. Angela's crying, but it was 4 months. You've been married for 4 months and you didn't tell me. How did you even find out? Your grandmother told me. Oh, they was really trying to throw me under the bus. So now we're repeating this cycle because Amari is sitting there crying now because her mom is crying. So you can't take accountability neither. Because that's what I'm sorry, y'all. Amari not being able to take accountability and then also telling her mom, oh, you don't need to be taking care of them anymore. I understand what you're saying. But when she said, I have to take care of my mom, and then you go back to, grandmother is such amazing. She's such an amazing woman. And I love her so much. But, yeah, it is giving a lot of flip flop. It's giving a lot of people pleasing. It's giving a lot of not being able to stand on how you feel about things because you're scared of somebody else's response to you. But I really want to know why Amari did not tell her mom that she got married, because it's giving you didn't tell her because you were afraid of her response. And then when she cries about how hurtful that is, that you didn't feel comfortable to tell her, you start crying. And this is too much. It's too much. You was going in on your auntie and your grandmother a minute ago. Now all of a sudden it's too much. And now we're dogpiling on you. Yeah, that was a lot of, like, volleyball and accountability all over the place. That shit was exhausting. Okay. So I'm about to tell y'all that when it comes to Charles, I feel like I'm a back up off Charles just a little bit. I still feel how I feel about him because I know men like him and they all act the same. They all think the same. They all have a I don't give a fuck about your feelings type of vibe. And at some point that works to their benefit, and women really should take a note from the way men are able to detach themselves from everybody else and just feel however they want to feel, fuck everybody else's feelings. Yeah, sometimes women need to adopt that because we don't know how to do that. And I think that that's what you need to be learning from Charles, okay? But I feel like Charles has this attitude of, you do too much, you play too many games, you say one thing to me, you say something else to them, you go and cry to them, and then you come to me and act like it's them. So now don't ask me to be in shit. I don't want to be involved. I don't even want to hear about the shit. And yes, in a marriage, that is emotional abandonment to some level, because you're supposed to be supportive to your partner. They should be able to come to you about whatever familial issues y'all are having and, vent to you like they should. But I could also understand a man feeling like you just gonna vent. You're not gonna change. You're not gonna do nothing different. You just want to suck from me about what the fuck to do about it. So stop talking to me about it. Like, I could definitely understand why he had that energy with her in the kitchen. Like, stop talking to me about these people, bro. Like, because you're really not going to do nothing different. So I just wanted to clock that right quick. Let it be clocked. Let's move on. Okay. I already told y'all I feel like Brit is full of shit talking about she didn't want Kenya to feel threatened. Shamia asked Angela what she thought about what Portia said. Angela said that she's married to a celebrity. Her DMs are already flooded, so it's not that much that can rock the boat. Brittany says somebody might get slapped bringing mess about my husband. Okay, so now I want you to recognize that you do threaten violence anytime you feel like somebody might say something you don't like. That's a normal thing for Black people. I just want to be clear. It is a normal thing for us to threaten violence because somebody says some shit we don't like. I do it too. Like, I get it, but it's like at some point you have to recognize that you can take it too far and you can't just say anything to people because things have to be taken seriously when you take it to a certain level. Because we don't know you, bitch. We can't trust that you're not going to take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just be out here saying shit, even though I feel like it is you just talking shit. It is you just running your mouth. But at the same time, we also looking at you like you might have been a drug dealer girlfriend. And sometimes drug dealer girlfriends actually enjoy sending a crazy ass sociopath boyfriend, baby daddy, husbands after people because they enjoy having a man defend them, right, wrong, or indifferent. They enjoy having some man to go and send and do their dirty work. Drug dealer girlfriends are sometimes mean girls because they enjoy the power that comes with having a man that will do any and everything, regardless to how there might be consequences for it. Yes, your Jocelyn's, your Nicki Minaj's, you know what I'm saying? Yes, absolutely. It's a whole bunch of women out here that get off on the power that is extended to them by some violent ass nigga. And sometimes they are willing to let that nigga be violent with them just so that they can turn around and do it to other women whenever they need to. And I do feel like that was a part of what Brit had going on in that moment. So that's why it's like you mentioning pistols and all of that. I'm looking at the nigga. He look crazy behind the eyes. Yeah, they saying that they don't know what he really do for a living and shit. Yeah, all of that is, and then you are a very young woman out here in videos and all of that. Yeah, it is definitely given. I was riding in cars with old ass niggas that so dope. It's definitely given. Yeah, I was at the video shoot, dressed in Gucci and all of this shit because I was with a drug dealing nigga and he was taking care of me. I was 16, he was 25. Like, yeah, it is definitely given that. I want everybody to stop acting like, we all didn't grow up, with these certain types of archetypes in the community. You know what I'm saying? So, bitch, when you start talking about slapping people, when you start talking about pulling out whips and pew pews and all of that, yeah, bitch, dating Rick Ross, yes, we can absolutely believe that you could want to threaten somebody and that should be taken seriously. So stop acting like I would never. No, yeah, nah. Nah, you did too much big in the chest talking. You gonna learn today. No, you gonna learn today. Oh, was she? Or oh, who gonna learn? Who gonna learn? Eh. Kenya took it there because she felt like she had to. I just feel like there was a way to do it without sacrificing yourself in the process. That's all. Kenya invites Portia and Kelly to her beauty spa. They look at some models. Portia speaks as an authority on what happened, even though she doesn't know what she heard. Y'all, I don't like this because Portia works on my nerves. Portia is going to act like she did not hear the pew pew comment. That's perfectly fine. Why are you speaking up on behalf of Kenya in such a manner? Is it because you want to seem as if you're one of the mature people, even though you're handling this Drew situation? Like we can't see you, like we don't know, you just holding on to this for a storyline, you don't really care, but you're just trying to make it a moment. Like we can see you too. Like that's wild. Anyway, Kelly says that she never saw that side of Brit before, but they should talk. And Kenya says that, oh, we gonna talk about a background check. We gonna talk about a background check. And now we know what she did with the background check. Okay. Um, let's move because I talked about that. Portia and Brit meet up. Brit admits that she took it too far with Kenya. Brit says Kenya likes to put on in front of the group. Kenya was targeting her. Portia says no one else saw it that way. And I feel like you had preconceived notions of her because you've watched her on TV. So you thought you were gonna get a certain version of her. So when she's not doing things to make you feel comfortable, you're now taking it as disrespect. And I feel like that was a theme that we're going to talk about in Married to Medicine. And this is another issue I think a lot of people have. You view disrespect as anything that somebody says that makes you feel uncomfortable. When at the end of the day, somebody can say something that made you uncomfortable, but that was not disrespectful. That was not something being said to harm you, even if it did. And you need to take responsibility for the fact that these are my feelings, but that's their truth. I'm just saying, these are my feelings, but that's their truth. Okay. Because to me, it's very obvious that Bert was trying to make a moment. So it didn't matter what Kenya said. Kenya could have said anything, and you were going to try to find a way to make it seem like Kenya was trying to have a problem with you because you wanted to make it a moment. I think you and Kelly assessed the fact that y'all were going to have some type of conversation, some type of back and forth with Portia and Kenya in order to like cement yourselves on the show. Like I think you know that. I think we know you know that. Um but yeah, I thought it was funny how every time we talked to Brit, she kept trying to make it seem like the threat wasn't real. And it wasn't until people would hold her feet to the fire, like, no, bitch, you was wilding. Nobody did anything for you to be doing all of that. Then she's like, I take responsibility for that. I was so wrong. I shouldn't have done that. Like, now you see. Okay. Thank you, Koja. What was it, Koja Malik? Thank you. Who said that? Who said that? Listen. Okay. Anyway, Kenya hair salon grand opening. There's a hair show. It was really cute. Except for one of them looked like they were about to fall off. I thought that was a cute idea. Britt and Kelly got there 2 to 3 hours after it started. I don't know if that was correct, but that's the way it looked to me. And I was annoyed by that. Like, why is it taking y'all so long to get there? Like, you rented a Sprinter van so that you could still show up 2 to 3 hours late? That's wild. Cynthia, Portia, and Shamia talk about Angela and Drew, how Shamia and Angela made up, how Portia is, basically ignoring Drew and paying her dust so that she can prolong this fight between the two of them so that she can have something going on, because I guess we're not going to talk about Simon and him dragging her from the Underground Railroad all the way up to her teeth. Like dragged her back and forth and back, Aaliyah, all up and through the social media streets, bitch. Paid for people to be on his page every day, every week, clocking every little subliminal message he shouted her way. Oh Lord, it was a lot. Brit talks to Kelly about her aunt dying, and I didn't like this. because I felt like I hate when people can't just stand in the fact that they fucked up and they got to go reach for something that will give everybody a reason to empathize with them, even when they were the aggressor in a situation, right? So your aunt on your dad's side passed away. They had to take her off life support. And so you're telling us that so us, the viewers, can feel sorry for you. That way, we'll be more forgiving of you after you did all of that ignorant shit last week. That's what that felt like to me. Okay, I'm gonna just tell y'all. Angela and Kenya talk. Kenya says that she was very happy to see Angela reach out to her because she was the only one that did so. Angela says she's on her side. And like I said, this was the second time I had clocked Angela telling somebody, I'm on your side. Like, why do you need to tell people I'm on your side? Don't be on nobody's side. Be on your own fucking side. Feel how you feel. Stop being moved. You know what I'm saying? Like the goddamn wind, girl. Drew tells Portia that she doesn't want them to keep ignoring each other and making everybody, feel awkward. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I really do love the way Drew handles conflict. I do. Drew's ability to, oh, okay, she's shading me. All right, girl, that's fine. Well, if that's how you want to handle it, you can do that. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I really love, I really, really enjoy the way Drew has arguments with people sometimes, especially right now, because Portia is so badly like wanting to make this a moment that it seems as if she's trying to bait Drew into an argument. Are you done? Are you done? Cause see, anybody with common sense, see why you got to do all of that? Why you got to do all of that? Like first you trying to say you don't give a fuck about what I was saying when you tell me, am I done? Then you basically make it seem as if I'm just complete bullshit right now when you know I'm not. I'm telling you I'm not fucking with this man. You know I'm not fucking with this man. Why are you making this a moment? And then you trying to like tell me I don't have common sense, like I'm just stupid. Like you calling me dumb right now is what you're doing. And I think that's very interesting for such a bird-like individual to call somebody dumb. That's why we like had to just let the dragging happen when that man who you was over there fucking was dragging you from here to there, girl. Because how dare you get up here and call Drew dumb? Like that was fucking wild to me. That was wild, y'all. People be doing a lot. Portia be doing a lot as far as I'm concerned. The only shade that Drew really did throw was like, the hot dog is yours, girl. I don't want it. I don't want it. Now, was Drew lying when she said that she and Portia had a conversation after her birthday party? I don't know. Because I do feel like Drew is not always somebody you can trust. She's not. But neither is Portia. Neither is Portia. So this is a situation where, bitch, it's a toss-up. It's 50-50. I don't trust neither one of y'all. Okay? You got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. Listen. So y'all, Brit and Kelly finally get there. Brit has flowers. Kenya ignores her, and then she claps for everyone's attention. Okay? Brit says that she's going to go since Kenya is ignoring her. Kenya says, I built this salon for my daughter so that I could give her legacy. But people are always trying to tear me down. I'm that bitch. I was that bitch. I am that bitch. I will always be that bitch. And I'm going to do what I should have done, which is paid you dust. And then proceeds to show us an exorbitant amount of energy and money spent in order to shame, degrade, and embarrass this woman. And while I do feel like she was deserving of some type of ass whippery, I feel like this is when you lowered yourself and did too much. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm an individual that has learned that people enjoy your anger and people enjoy you going through extreme lengths to give them attention, even if it's negative attention. People, especially being a social media content creator, I know how much people love and feed off of negative attention to the point that there are people that are always looking to upset me. I could tell that the comments they're leaving, they watch me, they hear the things that annoy me, and so they make comments in order to press buttons they feel like will be pressed, because then I'll give them attention and they'll feel like, oh my God, they get a rush. some type of rush from getting attention from somebody who otherwise they feel like isn't seeing them, and they're just screaming into an abyss. Person gives them the energy back, all of a sudden they get a high off of it. That's why trolling is such a thing. Okay? So that's why at some point you have to recognize that you cannot continue to give things that you don't really like, that you don't care about, that you know, all that negative attention. You cannot feed into negativity to a certain level because that says a lot about you. Okay? Which is why I often say people be sleeping on mattresses when they act like that. Because what's going on in your life, sweetheart? What is going on in your life, darling? That you're doing all of this. Like, this is a lot to do. And I feel like what we know about Kenya is that Kenya has had a horrid situation with her mother. And I think as a dark-skinned, beautiful, like, you know, beauty pageant woman, you probably experience so much nastiness from almost every woman you come into contact with. Like, y'all, I date women, and this is also my experience with women. Okay. So I get it. But I also feel like at some point, you have got to stop engaging with people at a certain level. And I'm just mean like to this level, girl. Like you went and got printouts so you could show us this girl sucking dick. My God, today. And then Andy got online to let us know. And y'all, this is why I don't see it for Andy. This is why I don't see it for Andy, y'all. Hold up. This is not what I want to show y'all. Give me a second. Like the video, support the channel, subscribe. Are you subscribed to BondyBlue Bites? I need y'all to get into that. That would be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like the video while I look for this, please. Please. Please, Dwayne, please. Okay. So let me pull this up for y'all. So this is why I probably won't be on a reality show. This is one of the reasons. Because if an executive producer ever decided they wanted to like play a game with me where they act as if they have some moral superiority to me, Andy Cohen has been seen on video down to the club with the young black men, twice his junior, rubbing on nipples. Okay? You just a nasty old man. And so for you to come up out of your mouth, if you show someone a dick pic without them agreeing to wanting to see it, that's SA. Well, I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know, Andy. Because I feel like we've definitely seen you in situations where it seems as if you know, possibly could be a creepy old man taking advantage of the young gay boys out there. I feel like, you know, the thing about it, though, is they feel sorry for a lot of y'all, right? You know, you some emotionally broken older man. So the young gay boys feel like they're sprinkling their fairiness on your ass. Okay. Let's hear what he had to say. But I just feel like I wish that he would not take such a moral high ground when everybody can see you. Like we can see how you party. We can see how you get down. It's weird for you to act as if you can have some, you know, judgment towards somebody in a situation. Let's hear. Hold up. Is they saying something? I can't hear. Hold up, y'all. I can't hear. I don't know. Maybe it's not saying nothing because I don't hear. Hold up. Let me refresh the page, y'all. Okay, I can hear it now. I had to refresh the page, y'all. Hold up.
I have a gun and a that you can't say that shit. And she was like, yeah, you're right. You know, whatever. She shows up to Kenya's opening of her gorgeous salon, which is beautiful, that Kenya has worked so hard on, that she dedicated to her daughter. And it's this big event, opening it with all these people there. And Brit comes in and brings her flowers and says, I want to apologize to you, and a note. And Kenya totally ignores her, like totally. And Brit's like, okay, I'm just going to leave these here. And Brit leaves. And then Kenya gets up and makes her whole opening about someone came after me and they shouldn't have. And I started looking into who this woman is, and this is who she is. And she starts showing pictures of her.
With like poster board that she printed out.
And this is like
one of the pictures is
revenge
her,
porn type.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the pictures is her like,
oral sexing.
Yeah. And so, and the Atlanta Housewives are like, we're out. We don't want any, the place like clears out.
Yeah.
And then there's and Cynthia said, in all my time at the show, this is the lowest I've ever seen anything get. And
now, what is this glitter bracelet you have on underneath?
It's glitter tape. Ben put it on me. He covered me in
it's very eye-catching and beautiful.
I know, it actually is. It's glitter tape.
I like it. It's diamonds.
For Ben, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
I have glitter tape everywhere.
Bring me some. Put it around my cock.
Oh my God. Anyway, so that's what, and then there's a slide at the end of the show that says, Bravo, stop filming with Kenya after this.
Well, they say like, there's all this talk of, after the Me Too movement, it's like, if you show someone a dick pic or a nude pic without them saying, yes, I would like to see that right now, that's like sexual assault. You can't just go around being like, hey, someone did it to me the other day. I was at a workout class and they were like, hey, look at this guy from last night. And I was like, I didn't ask to see that right now.
Right. Yes, Jordan?
Well, I was going to say, the bad part of it and the sad part of it was that, like you said, it was Kenya's opening of her store that she's worked so hard for, and that it's been Kenya Moore hair care for years. Yes. And it was like a big moment for her.
Why
and
did
like
she do that?
She should have been celebrating herself, but instead she used the time to like do revenge porn and bring somebody else down. And at the end of the day, it was such.
I see now, y'all. So yeah, it wasn't Andy that said it. It was somebody else on the show, but he agreed with it. It's his co-host, it's his show. But I will say, okay, Andy, I will walk that back slightly, but I still feel like you have that very hypocritical attitude about a lot of the things concerning the housewives, where it's like all of this fucking judgment from your seat, as if you're not also doing the same things that these people are doing.
Such a bad look for Kenya.
Yeah, why would
she
do that?
sabotaged herself and her business.
Yeah. What was she thinking?
Jody from Minneapolis, what did you think?
Yay, hi. Also, I'm just so proud.
Also, I would like to point out the way they're even discussing the shit. When they talk about what Brit did, oh yeah, it was so terrible. But she came with flowers and a note. And once the flowers and the note came, we were just supposed to perceive it as her being sorry, and we should automatically forgive her. When the truth of the matter is, she went extremely far, and she, in every scene that she discussed it, found ways to make it about Kenya and this imaginary shade that Kenya was throwing towards her before she decided to go in the way she did. I think it's one of those situations where y'all start in the middle and not at the beginning the way you should. Okay. Makai, thank you for the super chat. I had mom issues, but I ain't Kenya. Child, listen, I'm glad you aren't, because that's too much to be carrying. Kevin, thank you for being a member. If there was ever a time that Candy was needed on this damn show. Trina, thank you for being a member for 11 months. I get the mommy issues. She definitely needs therapy. I mean, I told y'all my story and I improved therapy works. Love you, Bondi. Thank you, love. Hey, Saltwater's Water, thank you for the super chat. Kenya could have played this so different. Angela's storyline has way too many holes, and Charles acts like he doesn't like her. A lot of these men don't like these women. They just want somebody to have, companionship with, but they don't really like them. Koja Malik, thank you for another one. Oh, wait, no, I saw this one. Who said that? Brit, an anti-socialite, thank you for the super chat. And it was such a nice episode honoring Kenya. I almost cried until that edit of her blowing the kiss. I also give Brit credit for walking right back out instead of trying to get another moment. Yeah, I agree. DeQuasia, thank you for the super chat. Boo Kenya definitely took her reputation down to a step further while I understood her reasons, her strategy to go about it was just reckless overall. It really was. And that's how she was acting out of emotion. You know what I'm saying? And it was really not about Brit in that moment. It was about the state that Kenya was in. And I think Kenya was feeling a lot of stress behind things not being successful. Her maybe being ushered out before she could use Real Housewives in order to make the salon pop. And that's what I really think it was, y'all. I think that she knows being on Real Housewives of Atlanta is supposed to help. They've been on this entire time that it's been open, and them getting rid of Candy, or really Candy leaving, and then this whole new group of people. I do feel like Kenya probably felt like she was being pushed out, so she needed to overperform in order to prove that she could still do this shit, because she needed the show to keep her while she was promoting the salon. Because during the opening of the salon was during the years, I feel like, where they, past 2 years they've been taken off. So yeah, I definitely can see Kenya's desperation working against her in this moment. And I wish she would have just trusted herself. And I hope that her business still is able to rebound. I saw that she got like an ambassadorship with somebody. Like, you just have to go about it a different way. But I really hope. Would you ever do a call them? Yeah. I do them. I didn't do one last week, but I did one the week before. They're just members only, and I repost them. So check my video tab for the last one for the last 2 MFN advices that I did, 3, I think. But anyway, y'all, let's press on to Kenya's response. Okay. This is another thing that made me feel like, come on, Kenya. Like, what is this? I know it was AI. Somebody probably made it and she sent it justice for Kenya. Listen, you know, I do feel like Brit should have been punished in like why was just a punishment for Kenya? But we all know that they don't really like Kenya over there. For whatever reason, they don't, I feel like, treat Kenya appropriately. Linda, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Bondi, just a little something. I always enjoy your commentary. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, Based on Kenya's behavior, the decision was made to cease filming with her this season. Kenya put on social media, "You have been my besties for the last 12 years, and I love and appreciate you so much. Last year, you cried with me when all of my hard work from the salon was cut by production and none of it was shown. I want to thank all of my friends who showed up for me and who support me on a regular basis, who love me down. My glam team never gets it wrong. Miss Lawrence, thank you for gracing us all with your presence. You are a star. I hope to turn our segment into a TV show, God willing. Special thanks to my event planner, who Events by Monet, who always throws the most stunning events. You did. That was beautiful. Thank you to the gorgeous models who helped make Kenya Moore hair care so iconic. To the cast of Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16, I wish you all an incredible season. To my friends and family, thanks for loving me, flaws and all. Thank you to all the stunning women who have patronized Kenya Moore Hair Spa. I love making you look beautiful. Love and blessings to you." So there was no apology in any of this, y'all. There was no, I Bondi the Wi-Fi air spot jumping. I'm listen, I was worried there for a second, but I feel like this is another example of Kenya not quite taking accountability for the situation, because there should have been I went too far, I did too much. There should have been a moment there. And I do feel like she slightly did it when she said thank you to her family and friends for loving her flaws and all, because this was a flawed moment. But she already apologized a couple of times. I don't know. It's a mess. I don't know. I don't know when she apologized all these times. As I said, I don't feel like what she did on Tamron Hall was really an apology. I think the apology should come with you being honest about your motives and how you really felt, and acting as if you were protecting your daughter. And that's the reason why you had this response. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. I don't feel like that was a genuine apology. I feel like it was in some way trying to not take accountability for how far you took it. So to me, if you're gonna make a statement to, end this all with a bow, this should have been a time to add that I handled this wrong. This was her goodbye. She's thanking everybody. This should have been a moment to say, and to my cast members, I apologize for putting y'all in an uncomfortable situation. I really went far in a way that I should not have. And I acted out of character for me at this point in my life. So I apologize to y'all because they were all offended. Y'all, they were all offended and they were made to feel uncomfortable. And then you were mad at them because they protested. Kenya, Shamia saying you was doing too much. Nah, she threatened me with a gun. Fuck that. You're right. She did take it way, way further than it needed to go. But so are you right now. And I feel like I need for people to learn this. And I'm going to segue into Married to Medicine with this. But I really need for people to learn that two wrongs do not make a right. And your actions are your responsibility. And how other people act is their responsibility. So if you know you did something wrong, you went too far, what you did was something that now bled over to making other people feel uncomfortable, then you should apologize because you were wrong. And yeah, that other person did you wrong and they should apologize and they should also feel shame. But you need to be told you was wrong for that shit and you need to accept that. And she didn't. She got mad at Cynthia for telling her she felt like that was beneath her. To me, I feel like people could say what they want to say because I saw Kenya reposted some shit that Nene said about Cynthia back in the day. Y'all need to decide whether y'all want a friend to be real and grown and an adult and have some fucking integrity, or you want them to just be flying by the wind. Because Cynthia very much kept it real with you in the moment and told you that shit was a no-go for her. And she didn't like that you did that. I don't like the way I feel like she made apologies for Brit. I think because Kenya took it to this level, people are now like downplaying what Brit did. Don't downplay what Brit did just so that you can, make what Kenya did bad. Both people did something bad. Both people deserve to be reprimanded in some way. You threatened that girl with a pistol. You should not have been taping after that. You should have had to sit your ass down. Kenya should have had to sit her ass down. And then y'all should have been forced to come back and have a conversation and make it right. Or both of y'all would be off. That's how it should have been handled. But because they really don't like Kenya, they're not going to handle the situation fairly. That's my opinion. But at the end of the day, like, you playing that clip of Nene when Nene was full of herself. That's why I never really liked Nene. The Real Housewives of Atlanta wasn't popping for long enough before Nene's head blew up and she felt that she was this person that could always be shitting on people. That was another reason why I didn't like her when they introduced Candy on season 2 and you all at Candy face, with this stank ass attitude when this lady trying to be nice to you because you're intimidated because somebody that's really famous is now on the show and is making your ego feel a little nervous. Like you may not be able to be the standout star that you are standing next to somebody that has some real talent and some real, history in entertainment versus just coming on a reality show. Because we all know it wasn't a lot of respect given to the reality show girls. Candy coming on Real Housewives legitimized it. And I feel like Nene resented her for that. That's the reason why they had beef. I don't care what nobody else fucking talking about. I see things very cut and dry. And, a lot of the times I can see multiple people's point of view. But at the same time, some things are just very cut and dry, bro. So using that moment just so that y'all could try to guilt Cynthia because Cynthia said, at the end of the day, I still didn't like that shit. I feel like she went too far. Y'all not about to punk no grown-ass woman into saying something different just because y'all her friends and y'all want her to not be as honest. I feel like people was always doing that to Cynthia. Like, Cynthia would go along and be a people pleaser all the time. But eventually she would have to be like, no, this is how I feel. And motherfuckers get mad about it and won't get in their feelings. But they can always be telling you any old goddamn thing. Lanithia. Girl, bye. Okay, girl, bye. Anyway, we're gonna move on to Married to Medicine. It's 1,400 of y'all in the room. I'm gonna need for y'all to like the video. I'm gonna need for y'all to like the video. It's acting funny. Like the video. Okay, child, the girls are messy. The girls are messy. Let's get to Married to Medicine. This is the last part of their reunion, season 11. Thank God. I'm tired. I'm tired of y'all. I'm going to tell you why I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all because a lot of y'all don't like Quad because Quad is over the top. It takes up space. Quad could be somebody that is very emotional, and if she doesn't want to let it go, she won't let it go. She'll feel how she feel to the end. Okay? I get that. But in past seasons, I have seen Quad come into the room, suck up all of the, all of the feelings she may have, put a smile on her face, keep it cute, and go on about her way. And then y'all antagonize her or force her to have a conversation about her feelings. She has a conversation about her feelings, and then y'all tell her, wait, bitch, you doing too much. You're doing too much. You giving us too much emotion right now. To me, that's what I feel like y'all did this season. I feel like, to be very clear, and I know a lot of, there are a lot of us that disagree about this, because there's a comment that people trying to argue with me about when it comes to Quad, and then when it comes to Mariah. Mariah is not on the show anymore, so I don't feel like it really matters. But I do feel like when y'all bring up Quad saying that she might have been, in the bathroom with the people doing the thing that a lot of the people did, I'm not crushing on Quad. And I think that it's annoying that y'all feel like because I see this happening the way I see it happening, y'all just don't see the pattern of behavior that's happening here, as far as I'm concerned. Because it's the same thing y'all did with Mel. This exact same fucking situation was happening to Mel, and I felt how I felt the exact same way. It did not matter whether it was Mel, Quad. It don't matter who the person is. When a woman decides that she is going to leave some stupid ass nigga, everybody around her likes to make her the bad guy. And I wrote this down because this is exactly what it is. If you don't martyr yourself, people hate you. Let me say it again. If you don't martyr yourself, people hate you. Because what y'all always expect is for somebody to shut up, take a L, swallow disrespect, take a deep breath, and just let everybody move on without any issue while your feelings and your emotions get stumped on by somebody. People did it with Martell and Mel, and now they did it here with Quad and Gregory. Gregory is a liar. He doesn't have any integrity. He has a hard time controlling himself. He is small, vengeful, lame, and he is a misogynist. But there are people, women, for some reason, defending a man that other men aren't even defending, except for a couple of the men on the show who are people pleasers and just don't like to feel like somebody is being ganged up on. To be clear, I believe Cecil and Eugene are both defending Gregory because they have both felt at some point like Heavenly or Quad have been extremely disrespectful to them. And as men, they was just supposed to eat the shit. But every now and again, they get with those women and people look at them and say that they less than a man because they responded to some disrespect from a woman. But this is not the same situation with Dr. Gregory and Quad. This is not that same situation. Cecil, you didn't put your hands on Heavenly. There has not been a time where you tried to suffocate her. Maybe you wanted to, but you physically have never been in a situation where you have physically abused her. So if y'all two go back and forth, it does not have the same severity as it does when Quad and Gregory go through what they go through. Because we did not visually see the fighting that took place between them, because Quad is a strong personality and Gregory comes off like a lame, weak man sometimes, Y'all feel sorry for him, his high voice, his little bitty car, his small height, his need to exert power in situations where he ends up looking a fool. If y'all want to be fucking for real with yourselves, and I know y'all don't want to, Quad being drunk and poking back at a man that has been consistently poking at her for an extended period of time, to me, is nothing. Her being drunk and laughing and saying, "You right, baby. I don't want to be with you. You right. We should. It wasn't meant for us. It was meant for you and her. Y'all are much better suited for each other." Yeah, it could be shade because I feel like the woman I am now knows better than to be with a disrespectful, lame ass nigga like you. Yeah, that's the underlie of it. Yeah. But that's also the truth. And I'm not your woman or your wife. So why the fuck should I care about how you feel? But see, y'all want women to martyr themselves in order to make some bitch ass nigga complacent and comfortable. She don't have to make him comfortable. She does not have to not say whatever it is that she wanted to say about supporting their marriage just because it would hurt his feelings. Y'all don't never like to back it all the way up. Why would it hurt his feelings if it's the truth? If you're really happy with Letitia, if you really love Letitia, if she really is better for you, even if that woman was saying that shit in a way to be antagonistic to you, you would have been like, "And you motherfucking right," because it wasn't you. You wasn't the one for me, and I wasn't the one for you. You should be able to let that shit roll off. But because that nigga felt emasculated by that younger, stronger, more attractive man the entire fucking day, because when he was trying to roll your boat gently down the stream, the nigga flipped the boat over and felt embarrassed. He felt embarrassed and he felt away before Quad even said anything. A lot of y'all can't seem to read body language. But the way Gregory was sitting there before Quad even said anything showed how much he was mad. Him and Letitia are obsessed with Quad, and it's not Letitia's fault. I'm gonna tell you what it is. She probably saw her as somebody that you could look up to. That's why you wanted the man she had, right? You get with him, and now he puts a battery in your back, tells you all these terrible things about her in order to make you empathize with him. So now you're on his side just by default. Now you're on his side in this situation because that's your husband, not because the woman is actually wrong or deserving of this energy that you've given her. Peep the way whenever Quad talked about her sexual relationship with King, it wasn't just Gregory that had an issue. It was Letitia that had an issue. Do you know why Letitia had an issue? Because she's already been emotionally hyper aware of Gregory and how Gregory is going to feel. Because they are in an abusive relationship, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. She is already hypersensitive to his emotional whims. So she is on edge with Quad because she knows he's on edge listening to Quad. And however he feels about Quad, she's going to have to pay for it. So now, instead of taking responsibility for the fact that you entered into a relationship with a man you don't really know, and he's using you as a tool to make his ex-wife jealous, instead of being real with yourself about that, you decide to just stick beside him while he's embarrassing you. And that's why I called you a goof troop. Because to me, there is nothing more fucking goofy that when a man is disrespecting and mishandling a woman and people are defending her and she turns around and gets mad at the people defending her instead of getting mad at the man that's disrespecting her. The only reason Dr. Gregory apologized to Sweet Tea is because there is still more using to do. There's still more life to suck out of the children of Salem when it comes to her. There's still some mattressing, maiden, muling. There's still work that he can get out of her because she's still emotionally invested. And that's because she's in an abusive relationship. It started off great, love bombed you, but now you're in the throes of being the emotional punching bag to a man that is asking for you to control yourself more than he can control himself. But then he will hold his age over your head like you're so stupid and he's so smart because he's older. But yet he could not control himself. But yet he is vengeful and petty and small and makes your life more difficult so he can be vengeful and petty and small. And that's the way he was with Quad. But you're not listening because you think you're different. Because instead of paying attention to what's happening, you would rather make Quad the person to be mad at because you want so bad to be with this man that really don't mean you know well. He doesn't respect women, period. He doesn't respect women, period. And the reason why we know that is because every time he apologized, he said it was because Quad was taking him out of character. So what was the reason for you talking to T like that? T wasn't antagonizing you. T wasn't talking shit to you. So why were you talking crazy to T? Because that's who you are. And the fact that everybody on that reunion stage allowed for him to continue to perpetuate that that's not how he really is. That's not who he is as a person. That's just what happened in a moment. It was a special circumstance. It is a way to let him skate on being fully accountable for the fact that this is exactly who you are. And King kept bringing that up. King brought that up more than once, that Dr. Gregory is a man who does not respect women, and so he talks to them disrespectfully, especially when he's in a relationship with them, because a lot of men feel like women should just be okay with disrespect. And we were talking about this when it comes to the Terrence Howard thing. A lot of y'all don't understand certain things. You don't actually listen to what people say. You just kind of attach what you think they're saying onto what they say. I listen to what they say. I listen to the words they use, and I listen to the way they say shit. When a person says a man is looking at me like I am a woman, even though he has said that women sell themselves in order to get to a certain place, he is still saying that you're looking at me like I am prey. Women are prey. Men are not prey, which is why it's emasculating when Diddy looks at Terrence Howard like, nigga, you pretty. Because you don't want to be looked at like prey. But that's literally why he's doing it, to exert dominance over you. So y'all then start to conflate when people use sex and sexual energy as a weapon. You start to conflate that with people being sexually fluid and having more openness with their sexuality. You equate those two things to the same thing. That's misogyny, bitch. That's misogyny, bitch. Because he seems to think that when a man does it to a man, it's emasculating. This is from a man's point of view. Yeah, baby, we get it. But we need y'all to understand this same behavior that y'all do to women makes us feel the same way. But you don't view it that way. You think that women somehow have some extra room for disrespect that y'all don't have. Y'all really, oh, I'm a man. I see men need respect. The fact that y'all feel like women don't need respect is a part of the problem that we keep trying to get y'all to see. Like, we keep trying to get y'all to see that you're making an issue that you do to other people a bigger issue when it's happening to you. And that is exactly what the fuck Dr. Gregory was doing. And then people decided based on how they felt about Quad, whether they wanted to go along with that way of thinking. Based on whether it was beneficial for them or not, they wanted to go along with the idea that Quad did something wrong simply by expressing a sarcastic, passive-aggressive form of saying, I know you was trying to make me feel like shit, but I don't, and I can tell that you do. That was all Quad was getting across with that, I'll plan the baby shower for you, baby. You thought you bringing this woman here was going to hurt me, and it doesn't hurt me. I want you to be happy. I want you to move on because I'm not petty and vengeful and small like you are. I'm sorry. I don't see it no other way. I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. Y'all can comment till y'all blue in the face. Y'all can say, oh, you just, you dick riding quiet. Y'all shut up. Cause that don't have nothing to do with nothing. I have never been emotionally invested in Married to Medicine the way a lot of y'all think I have been. I just see it the way I fucking see it. That nigga thought all of that shit was easy when he was doing it to her, and she was holding her head up high and walking into the bachelorette party with a gift to let the woman know, I'm not about to do this like you think I'm about to do this. I'm not worried about that man. I don't want that man. I don't see you as competition. If you feel like he's a good partner for you, congratulations, but I know better. And I know it's because you're young and insecure and unaware, and you don't have the experience that I have, that you think you've won something, but you haven't. And so, yes, I'm going to show up low-key pitying you. But I ain't mad because I want him. I'm not mad because I want him. I'm mad because the people on this show are allowing him to use you to make me mad, and I'm not even fucking mad. Let's be very clear. If Quad was really trying to shit on Gregory the way y'all act like she was, just because she got drunk and let that nigga have it for a moment, after all of this shit that didn't happen, for a moment she let that nigga have it. Not even that deep. Didn't even say nothing mean to him. Said, I want you to be with her. I'm glad y'all are happy. Y'all actually are online and in comments talking about she was just trying to piss him off. She was wrong for that. She did insult him. No, she didn't. She did not insult him. She did not disrespect him. But the truth was already upsetting to him. He was already mad. Everybody knew it. Eugene said it. Let's be real. You mad because your ex-wife here with the younger nigga with the pectoral muscles glistening in the sun and shit. You jealous. Everybody in here know you jealous because we would be jealous, nigga. We low-key are jealous. Look at this nigga. All of us are some old ass niggas, and she came in here with this young buck with his chesticles all out and shit. We all feeling some type of way. But Gregory is not honest enough to admit that. He not. So instead of him being real about what was really bothering him, even though he's saying it up out of his mouth when he's screaming at Quad, you talking about you left me. I did leave you, baby. The truth should not be this harmful to y'all. But see, all y'all care about is making some man feel comfortable emotionally. So you'll lie and you'll not tell the truth because you don't want to hurt his feelings. But he'll hurt your feelings and not give a fuck. He'll actually make attempts to hurt your feelings. If Quad was really trying to hurt Greg the way he was hurting her, she would have brought King on the show last season. Quad was already fucking with King. Quad was already in a relationship with King when she had to deal with them trying to fire her from the show when they went to Napa, and then bringing the other two on the show, and then, Phaedra bringing her to the events and all of that. She could have been brought her man around if it was really about one-upping him. But that's not what it was about until they were in that moment. And she was actually able to be happy with my man right here. You over there with your woman, but you still shading the fuck out of me. You still showing, throwing little slick comments and looking at me like you mad and all of that. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, I'm a little drunk. I'm a little tipsy, and I know you've been trying to play me. So right now, I'm going to let you fucking have it. So what? Why that make Quad the bad guy? Why does that make Quad the bad guy? Because after all of this time, that lady finally responded. And that's the same shit I feel when it came to that Mariah shit. Y'all could argue with me all day. Oh, they lied about it. They lied. It wasn't really nothing. Child, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. When you go back and watch it, you was giving that lady your ass to kiss. That's their favorite thing to say. Mariah was treating Quad like shit as soon as reunion part 1 was over. As soon as the season 1 reunion was over and people like Quad, I feel like Mariah got jealous. She is the type of personality that wants to be the star of the show. Everybody needs to be a minion in order for her to really feel comfortable. That's why she could never fully come back to the show and would only kind of be in a space of I told you so on this show. I don't care what y'all are talking about. And I really wish y'all would get the fuck over it. I do. I really wish y'all would get over the Mariah Quad thing. But if y'all want to say that Quad started it, you could say that. I don't even care anymore. What we talking about right now that's going on right now, because Mariah ain't on the show, baby. So what we talking about right now is this situation with Greg and Simone. And Simone, you told on yourself too. You literally scream to Quad and say, you gave us your ass to kiss and we hung out with Greg. We moved on. Bitch, y'all are not in a romantic relationship. Did you think you was fucking Quad, Simone? Because you talking like you was moving on with your life as if you needed to replace her. You don't need to replace a friend. You have all of these other friends. If Quad wasn't around, Quad not around. You having to go reach for Letitia and Gregory was absolutely about sunning Quad and treating her like the little girl that you love to refer to her as. So yeah, I'm going to add 60 to Simone's age. I am going to go ahead and number up on Simone. Yes, bitch. You 60 years old, you're a doctor, and you were screaming to another woman that I hung with your abuser and his new wife to get back at you because you gave us your ass to kiss. You turned your back on us, and so we turned our back on you. Now, when you get your fucking ass on stage after you done lost your shit and told the truth of how you really felt, y'all get on stage and you sitting up there, I'm tired of hearing about what we did. I'm tired of hearing about what we did. Ma'am, not only did it just happen, but y'all have yet to fully take accountability for it without kind of running it backpedaling and pussy popping. Because y'all apologized and then y'all acted like the only reason y'all apologized is because she kept crying about it. That's bullshit, Jackie, Simone. That's bullshit. That lady wasn't even talking about what happened. Toya brought it up. The lady was honest with her feelings. Y'all said y'all was sorry. Y'all apologized. Y'all moved on. And then you scream up out of your mouth with the same anger as if you still been mad this entire time that that's her karma. Karma from what, Simone? You have yet to really say what the karma was from. She says, I was there for you when we went looking for your daddy. You was never around when the cameras wasn't there. You was never around when the cameras wasn't there. Girl, really? At 60, you care this much about people that's really just showing up to do their job so you could be small, vengeful, and vindictive? That's why you and Greg get along, bitch, because y'all got the same small, vengeful personality. Insecure, and don't recognize that when you act nasty to people, just because you say they turn their back on you, you don't have no real fucking instance for what you talking about. But that's how you felt because you were projecting. Quad was supposed to play a role in y'all eyes. Quad was supposed to be the young little girl who wasn't a doctor. And so y'all could just shit on people and disrespect them. The problem is y'all came on a reality show, which has been a evening thing for y'all. It's put y'all on level playing field. Y'all have been leveled out with women who did not have to work as hard as y'all. And y'all are mad about it. Jackie, you too. Did y'all see the way Jackie pushed Letitia out of the room to talk to Simone? For what? That's how you can see that Jackie just don't see it for you. She don't respect you, so it don't matter. And that's why I said, Jackie, you ain't shit neither. I don't give a fuck about all of this. Oh, I'm a great doctor, but are you a great person? A lot of times y'all do like nice shit. Go give water to the people in Africa just so you could treat the person sitting next to you like shit. Okay. If you think that that's how that equal out, girl, I guess. But if she could talk about biscuits going in the wrong places, I could talk about how uncomfortable I am seeing the bones in her chest. I just want to be on level playing field. But we still haven't heard about whatever the fuck this karma is. And I feel like real karma would be Cecil, go get Tammy. Go get Tammy, because Cecil, I really want to talk about the fact that Cecil looks high all the time because he be looking upset. Cecil looks high. Simone talks about her and her man. We have such a good time. Girl, we can't tell by the way you move. I really wish you would have freed Cecil. so that both of y'all can be happier individuals, because both of y'all come off a little, you know, a little resentful. I'm gonna say it like that. Y'all come off a little resentful, boo. I don't know what else to say about it, but I did notice that he kept telling her all these years, and you still don't know how to act, huh? And we were supposed to take it as a joke, but low key, I kind of felt like Cecil was serious. On stage, King says Quiet was not being rude or disrespectful. Why did Greg have to tell King he told Quiet to shut the fuck up? You know why? Because he was pressing him. So for everybody that feel like, oh, King is the one that walked up to him, y'all always like to start in the middle instead of at the beginning. The beef started when they were having that moment smoking cigars, and that nigga decided to press King. When he decided to let King know that, you know, you should defend your woman, but I told her what I said. And he admitted he was inebriated. He was drunk. And he was feeling himself. Do I see y'all? A lot of y'all who defend Greg, y'all not gonna clock that, right? It was only a big deal when Quad was drunk and talking shit to him. But when he was drunk and talking shit to King, what? Then no, that don't count? Yeah, all right, whatever. Whatever, nigga. Eugene said they were only on the beach for 22 minutes. Andy asked who would have won the fight. And then Greg says, you know, King is younger and twice my size, but, you know, I guess if Letitia would have helped me, we would have been able to take him. I'm like, somebody be listening to my commentary. Somebody must have sent it. Because y'all know that's what I said. I said, this don't make no fucking sense, sir. You should have took that as the compliment that it was, that you got some young, goofy, country, strong young woman that is willing to chase down a grown ass man like a herd of cow behind you. Okay. You should have taken that as the the flex that it is. Okay. Then they roll the tapes from the way Greg talked to Letitia. He regrets the way he talked to her. King says it seems that it's the same aggression towards women. You felt you could talk to Quad like that, and you couldn't. Also, I want y'all to clock how he didn't want to apologize to Quad. And then when he was finally forced to apologize to Quad on stage, he then still says, you know, I was acting out of character. It was uncharacteristic for me. You're full of shit. And everybody on stage that clapped and made you feel as if that was adequate. Meanwhile, you making all of these stupid fucking faces every time Quad says something. King says the police told Greg to stop wasting their time if there was no real assault. He says, it was. I dropped the charges. You're a liar. We already know we can't trust nothing you say. I guess you were just upset that I stood up to you. Greg then flips it. Greg is one of those people that I think is a professional at flipping shit on you. They do something to you, you call it out. They say, no, that's what you're doing to me. Greg insists that King was bullying him and he initiated the conversation. Greg says that King has a warped view of him. King was very much spot on. He was like, oh, no. I definitely can see things rationally. And I feel like you said something that was disrespectful and you needed to be checked. So I checked you. That's it. Greg says that, well, you know, I can't be cool with somebody that's trying to destroy my character. I really am getting tired of men or people, period, because women do this too, but it's always more so around a man's image than a woman's image. It's always around a man's image, his projected image, the way he wants to lie, the way he wants to convince people he is versus how he really is. So here's the thing. If you want people to see you a certain way, you have to act a certain way. You can't just say I'm a certain way. You have to act a certain way. You can't say that Quad is trying to destroy your character as if the reason why people don't have an issue with you is because of the things you've done. I don't know who you were talking about, but Damon said that you didn't have any integrity. And he said you didn't have any integrity because you lied. And you did lie. So I'm very confused on how somebody's trying to tear down your image. And that's what I hear so much from y'all. Anytime somebody calls a thing and says, oh, you are wrong, you're a liar, you did this, you're fucked up, y'all flip it and like, oh no, they're just trying to destroy my image. You don't have a fucking image. You have who you present the world with, and that is what we see, and we're reflecting that right back to you, sir. Nobody's lying on you. Nobody's lying on you. I would love for him to give us a prime example of when somebody lied on him. But y'all just let niggas say stuff like that and glaze over it. So now we can act like Quad actually was somewhere lying about this man. Anyway, Eugene says at the end of the day, you're the man, you should be the bigger person. So some men, because they do view themselves as men and they're supposed to be more logical, some of them actually try to live up to that, and they will be, you know, more amicable. They'll be the one to come and say I'm sorry first. They'll, you know, succeed in arguments with women sometimes just because I'm the man, let me take the high road, right? That's what Eugene was talking about. And this is when I was telling y'all Eugene and Cecil are projecting what happened between them and Heavenly and Quad. So y'all remember how Cecil got into it with Heavenly. Y'all remember how Quad and Eugene got into it, right? This is not, and like I said, this is not what we're talking about when it comes to Gregory. Gregory isn't just having this back and forth with any and every woman on you know, the cast. This is really about Quad. Nobody is actually even faulting him in a situation with Damon and Heavenly. As I've already told y'all, I feel like Damon wants somebody to, you know, vouch for his dick, and nobody can vouch for your dick. You keep saying it's your character, but that's cap. It's not your character. You wanted him to say that you're not the type of man to cheat, and nobody knows if you cheat or not, no matter how you present yourself. There's no amount of showing yourself as a real father, real man to the world that's going to make us know for a fact you have never cheated or been out here on your wife. So you even asking that to me was stupid. Okay. And I do feel like Heavenly went way too fucking far when she used that P word when it came to Gregory. Okay. So whatever he said in response, he had every right to say whatever the fuck he said. I'm not even arguing about that. But you don't get to talk to Quad like she's still your wife, demeaning and degrading her the way you do your wife simply because she said she left you, which is the truth. That's the truth, man. Deal with it. Greg says that it wasn't that. He didn't have a hard time because Eugene was like, any of us would have had a hard time. He's like, I didn't have a hard time with that. I had a hard time with the stuff she was saying. It's all the same, nigga. Your feelings hurt because you wanted her and she didn't want you no more. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Stop trying to overcomplicate the shit. Backstage, Cecil hears what happened with Simone and jokes that she still doesn't know. I told y'all that. Quad was keeping her life a secret, so we moved on. Simone, you are full of shit. You are full of shit. Andy, I'm so happy that you're happy that Quad now has a man behind her during this segment. But I just want everybody to clock how even a gay man is invested in Quad having a man. Because that's going to fix everything. I just want y'all to pay attention how y'all impose this on women. And this is the way that y'all malign single women, or the way y'all degrade single women sometimes, is like, oh, this whole time you were missing something because a man wasn't sitting behind you. Like, oh my God. Let me see what else. Quad having to explain that her talking about how amazing King is not a slight to Greg, but she should not have to coddle his feelings and consider his feelings when she's talking about how great King is. Just like y'all was not asking that of Gregory. Nobody asked Gregory to not talk about how great Letitia is, because he did that. He did a lot of that. Oh, she's much better. The other men said the same shit. But when Quad says it, now it's a problem. And that's because it was being said to hurt her in the first place. Any way that he could use Letitia to make Quad mad, that's what he was doing. Letitia should divorce that man because he's not in that relationship for her. He's in that relationship so that he can have someone because he's codependent, and then also so that he could use you to fight his battles against the woman who he feels left him. And we know how y'all niggas can never get over a woman leaving y'all, even when y'all dog the women out. And this is something I've noticed. Niggas will be married to a woman. She will try to do everything she can to make the relationship work. She cooking, she cleaning, she sucking, she fucking. She's faithful. She's doing all of the things. She just wants you to take her out. She wants you to be a little romantic. She wants you to be thoughtful. She wants you to, just give her something to be excited about every now and again. And you don't want to do that because that's too much work. And you feel like as a man, you shouldn't have to do that. She should just be happy with the arrangement the way it is, even though that's not how this shit works. So instead of trying to step up to meet her requirements, now that her requirements are changing based on life and new information, you decide instead you're going to keep pushing her into a corner to accept the way you are. And if she don't like it, then she can go. Well, then she decides to go. And then you get mad because you didn't really want her to go, but you wanted her to lower her expectations so that you did not have to do anything more than what you were already comfortable with doing. You didn't want to reach outside of your comfort zone to make that woman happy because her happiness was not that important to you. So now she's left you and moved on, and you have the fucking audacity to feel hurt and slighted when she moves on. This is what happened to me. I'm sorry. And I see it all the time. And I see people expect the ex-wife to be coddling some man's emotions who was purposefully trying to fuck over hers when they were in a marriage. When they were in a marriage, he's purposefully trying to break her down, humble her, because if she's low, then she doesn't feel strong enough to leave. She just stays in a relationship because it's easier than leaving. But when women actually gather the strength to leave toxic relationships where the men are doing them like that, the men actually get fucking mad and then tell everybody else that they were the ones being slighted. So they turn everybody in y'all's family and friends. They try to turn everybody against you. They try to make it seem like you hurt them. You did it to them. Meanwhile, you was doing everything you could and begging them for the simplest of thoughtful dating or romanticism. And they just did not want to give it to you and felt like they shouldn't have to because they're the man. And therein lies the misogyny. You feeling like how the woman feels does not matter simply because it's what a woman wants. Because if it was something that you wanted, then y'all would feel like, oh, she wasn't giving him a baby. She trash. She was only with him for the money. And let's really get into how you could tell that this is really about him being mad that Quad left him. Quad says his ego was bruised and he pressed charges to get us kicked out of the group. Damon says it's an unwritten movement to protect your woman. Greg felt insulted. He was not insulted, but he felt insulted. Her comments about the baby shower, she says, that was to prove I'm not against y'all. He says she supposedly left him. He gave her everything in the divorce. She says, I had my own shit. Like I was on this show. I had started businesses. Letitia, whether those businesses failed or not, that woman had established a 6-figure income outside of her marriage. She was not only with Gregory because Gregory had money. I do think that she was with him because she wanted to be, the wife of a doctor. And I don't know why everybody makes you feel like you so wrong and you a gold digger because you wanted to be with somebody that could take care of you, as if that's not what's impressed upon young women, to find men with good jobs, find men that know how to take care of themselves, that are smart. And then when the men treat you like shit because they're insecure, because they feel like you're too beautiful to be with them. They won't admit it, but that's how they feel. A lot of these niggas feel like, why would you want me? And so they treat you like that because they feel like they're insecure that you really want them or that you're really making a genuine effort. So whenever they can have a moment to get back at you or to hurt you, to make themselves feel more empowered in the situation, they will. They will. Lame niggas do it every day, B. But he says, I gave you everything. She says, I had my own. He says, yeah, I could have came after you for some money. I could have came after you for some money. So first, you're lying and saying that you gave her everything. And she says, no, I didn't take anything because I knew how you would act if I actually fought you for what I deserved from the marriage. But I didn't. I left with what I had and went and rebuilt my own life, which was better than the life I had with you. And you fucking mad about it. And he then turns around and tells her that he could have took money from her. Why would your bitch ass want to take money from a gold digger? Why would you want to take money from a gold digger? Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. Cecil says, I don't believe in this. My wife can say anything to you and you can't say anything back. I agree with him. Toya points out that Greg started it and he talks to Letitia bad too. It's just that Letitia is fine with being talked to bad and wants everybody else to just go along to get along the way she does. When you are in an abusive relationship and you are now hyper aware of your partner and you quiet yourself and you submit and acquiesce to all of their tyranny, I think you then expect other people to do the same. And when they don't, you get nervous, which is why Letitia has this response to Quad. Because you want somebody to respond to your husband in the way that you would, because you're going to get the brunt of his anger. Greg apologized to T. King points out again that it wasn't normal behavior because T was like, that's just the way we are. Y'all just saw the real. I think a lot of y'all don't understand that y'all are toxic in y'all's relationships. And I'm not saying y'all like this isn't also me. I'm also always like in a self-check mode because when I was younger, I was very toxic in my relationships. Cursing, hitting, throwing shit, all of that. Okay? That's how I was raised to act out in anger when somebody made me feel disrespected. That's why it always blew me the way men feel like they're the only ones that need respect, because as a woman, I have always required respect. I don't even know what the fuck anybody's talking about. If a man is calling me a bitch, if a man is talking to me crazy, cursing me out and all of that shit, yeah, you don't respect me. We can't deal with each other. I think you need to do better at convincing me you like women, because some of these men, the way they talk, doing, oh, you stupid ass bitch, all of that. No. And I know a lot of us think that, oh, that's just the way we talk. It's really not. It's really not, baby. It's toxic. It's abusive, but you're okay with it because it's what you're used to. But it's not okay. And if anybody was being real with themselves, when somebody is talking to you like that, it's triggering and it's hurtful. Let's rewind to the moment at the table when he looked down his nose at her and said, "You are so naive." And she is quiet. Why are you talking to me like that, Gregory? You're not going to get anywhere with me like that, Gregory. She is docile and she is very much conscious of what she's saying. She is slightly trying to stand up for herself because she knows he's just going to keep going and keep going. He's going to keep saying little comments. He's going to keep poking at her. He's going to neg her. And that's what he did. Yeah, it's your fault. You just learned you don't need to talk to me like that. If you ain't talked to me like that, it wouldn't have never happened like that. It's your fault. It wasn't her fault, y'all. Y'all saw that scene. It was not her fault. It was him. He was the one out of control of himself, but he put all of the blame on her and took no accountability in that moment until he was forced to on this stage. It's crazy to me how to your wife as a this is the woman that you laying up with every night. This is the woman that's cooking your food. This is the woman you are in the house with, and you could not apologize to her until a white man told you to. You couldn't apologize until the world told you was fucked up. You couldn't apologize to her until all the other men had to come to the consensus that you was fucked up. And then it just makes me mad because I feel like they never really did that when it came to Quad. And that's because whenever a woman does speak up for herself, y'all view her as, oh, she got it. I don't have to defend her. We don't have to get involved because then he gonna be mad at us and it's gonna make shit uncomfortable. And that's too much of a hassle. So I'm just gonna stay quiet while he disrespects her in front of me because she's a strong personality. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. We just, I know a lot of y'all want to make the old Quad. She always makes it about her. They make it about her. They make it about her. They make it about her. He made his marriage about her. Sitting up there talking about, I gave you everything. Why are we still talking about the divorce? If you happy and moved on, you should not still be mad at Quad having a new man. Even if it hurts you a little bit, you're not supposed to be mad enough to show it. That's where the lack of player, like that's where the lameness comes in, because you don't even know how to control your emotions enough to not show people that you bothered. So as he's showing y'all how bothered he is, and y'all sit up there and act like it's all quiet and she antagonizing him. Yeah, y'all just people that are going to dislike Quad and find a victim in that man. And some of y'all just think like that. And that's y'all business. That's y'all business. We talk about people having harsh conversations. Cecil, I'm sorry. Toya says her and Eugene had harsh conversations, but they went to therapy. Let me tell you something. Because of the way I heard people talk to each other around my neck of the woods, there were like, now that I'm older, I'm not gonna call, something I used to do when I was younger. I'm not gonna curse you out. I'm not really gonna be like, I don't ever seriously say fuck you. If I say fuck you, I'm joking, like laughing, like, bro, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't joked on me or something like that. It's never like a serious, like, man, fuck you. Never. Not gonna call you out of your name. Even when I was like maybe in my mid to late 20s, me and this man would get into it. If I had to stop doing this because I would say you acting like, but I would never call you a bitch because I feel like you shouldn't call a man a bitch, especially if it's a man you care about. There are some, I have my limits. If I care about somebody, I'm not going to go to hell on them because you can't come back from shit like that. Once you done hurt people or damage their ego too much, you cannot come back from that shit. They will always remember how you hurt them because words cut deep. And I know how my words cut. So I've always been very cognizant of how I talk to people I'm in relationships with and how I handle them, especially as I've gotten older. So to see people twice my fucking age not understand that, like something's wrong with you, my nigga. Like something's wrong with you, Gregory. I need you to get that together. Simone, you gave us your ad. Girl, you too old for that shit, ma'am. You are too old for that shit. And it just goes to show you could be highly intelligent. You could be a doctor. You can be highly decorated. You could be so smart, but you could be so insecure that you are still immature with the way you handle your relationships with people. Like you are immature. There are a lot of Black women who are older, but they don't have any wisdom. They still act like the 16-year-old version of themselves, even as an older woman. And I'm sorry, Simone, but that's what you displayed when you came out your fucking neck saying that shit to Quad. I want you to go and figure out what you really mad about and go talk to somebody about it, bitch. Get on Chat GPT and talk to the Chat GPT AI bitch about your feelings, because sometimes it's better than therapy, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Go use Chat GPT when it comes to therapy. Ask them questions and shit. Give them scenarios and see what happens. Because the way she responded, like, how could you not see how immature you look, screaming that shit to that lady without no real backup for what your issue is with her? That was wild to me. Another interesting moment was when they was backstage and it seemed like Damon and Eugene was having a moment, and Eugene was like, that word coward, that could, be an issue for any man. And Damon was like, don't act like one. Don't make me call you one. Eugene was like, you say that to a certain type of person, they might want, beat your ass. And Damon was like, if I call you one, feel free to try to beat my ass. Feel free. But I still said what I said. I'm gonna say how I feel. So I don't know what Eugene was trying to accomplish in that moment, but to me, I think that comes from Eugene having issues with, the things Heavenly has said in the past, the things that Quad has said in the past. So he's projecting, but he's also being a people pleaser when it comes to Gregory. I think they felt like Gregory was being ganged up on. He was not being ganged up on. This is literally one of those moments where somebody is refusing to see themselves in any of these scenarios. When he said, why should I apologize to Quad? She's not apologizing to me. You should apologize to her because you are wrong. You should apologize to her because you are wrong. That's why. Because you really did mean to poke at her, to hurt her in some way, because you still feel mad about her leaving you. Like you're not even being real with your fucking self. How you gonna be real with anybody else when you can't even be real with yourself, my nigga? Like, what do you mean? You a grown-ass man. And that's what I mean when I say immaturity, y'all. That's a sign of severe immaturity, that you can't apologize to somebody regardless to what they got going on. What I mean is, Quad did not do anything to that man in real life in order for him to feel like she owes him an apology. You were poking at her far worse. You told her she had a big ass mouth and she needed to shut the fuck up. That lady said, I'm happy that you with the woman you with, and I will plan the damn baby shower for y'all. I want y'all to get whatever it is y'all want out of life. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck whether she was being passive aggressive. That is not the same thing as the way that man talked to her, especially when you add that to the fact that he's been physically abusive towards her. The way people talk to you with such venom after they didn't put their fucking hands on you is a total different beast to me than having back and forth with people that ain't never put their hands on you. It's totally different. And so for me, I feel like everybody let Eugene skate in some type of way because y'all either wanted to feel sorry for him because he's pathetic, because he is pathetic. When he got up there and performed that goofy ass song and that girl sat there embarrassed as fuck, but pretended not to be, I'm sorry, y'all. Whenever people pretend and we can all see the truth, you look stupid. You look dumb. Everybody can see that you're embarrassed. No amount of dancing is going to make this better. That nigga sound crazy. He sound weak. He look lame. The rap was whack. The t-shirt, access to the money, bitch. You paying off a house that nigga had before he met you, and he a granddaddy ass nigga. You shouldn't be paying for shit. The fact that you got to sell t-shirts lets us know a lot. Like, when did I say Eugene? I'm sorry if I said the wrong word. You know, if I said the wrong name, y'all know what I mean. Only time I was talking about Eugene is when Eugene and Damon was going back and forth. And I was like, I don't know what Eugene was trying to do in that moment, but I feel like he doesn't want Gregory to feel like he got ganged up on. I think that's where that comes from with Eugene. Cecil too. I think they both just was like, we don't want him to feel like he got ganged up on. So let's be the one, because everybody else is saying it. So let's be impartial. But the problem that I have with that sometimes is that you spend so time being a devil's advocate, then you just being a fucking devil, bruh. You being devil's advocate, and he needs to know the truth. Nobody needs to defend Gregory in any of this shit. Gregory doesn't need to feel like somebody's on his side right now. Gregory needs to know that he fucking tripping. Gregory needs to know that he needs to collect himself, and he needs to go do some therapy, and he needs to stop taking shit so personal. He needs to stop trying to control women. He needs to be a better person. That's a pilgrimage he needs to go on his own. But because y'all make niggas feel so special because they went and got a doctorate degree. Okay. It is what it is. Thank you, Justice Moore. Greg has an inflated sense of self, and Quad hurt his ego. Long overdue. Absolutely. I agree. Makai, thank you for the super chat. Unpopular opinion. When I watched the clip, it seemed like Brit could have been saying, I'm coming with guns blazing to let Kenya know that she isn't weak. Not literally, but she instantly regretted it. Yeah, no, Makai, I really do. I agree with you. I don't think she really meant it like that, but you can't say shit like that because we don't know that. You know what I'm saying? But I agree. I don't think she really, just like I feel like Kenya didn't feel like she was really going to hurt her. I don't think Kenya was really scared. But she had to let her know, bitch, I don't know who you thought you was talking to. Deshaun, thank you for the super chat. Abuse is deemed as tolerable and deserved to the personality of the woman if the personality of the woman is strong. Ain't that fucked up? Basically, that's what I derive from it. Stacey M, thank you for the super chat. For you, Bondi, love your content. You're always on point. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, love. SD Mac, thank you for the super chat. King clocked it. Said he felt comfortable talking to Quiet disrespectful because he's used to doing that. Absolutely. Hey, Makai, thank you for another super chat. I'm noticing a pattern with some women. The fact that Quiet would rather have a kid with a man who has one speaks volumes. Peepow Chrissy has 0. Chrissy from Jim Jones. What pattern are you pointing out there, love? I'd love to know. Am I going to New Orleans Pride? Yeah, I should be. I'm mad that they didn't invite me to be on a panel, bitch. But yeah, I'm gonna probably be down there on down to the Louis Armstrong in June. Hot as fuck. About to pass the fuck out. Y'all, it be so hot during Pride. Oh my God. Yes, Jim Jones, Chrissy. These women know who they with, but won't have no baby with them. Yes, absolutely. And you shouldn't. Everybody ain't meant to be a daddy. And I think that it's up to women to keep some of these niggas from being daddies. I absolutely do. I'm sorry. Some of y'all should not be parents. And I think it's up to the woman to say, no, the womb is closed, sir. So let's go ahead and move on to a little tea right quick, y'all. Let's get into a little tea right quick that they said down to the internet. Because y'all know Heavenly always gonna come with some tea. All right.
I really don't. I know he ain't got no kids, but I'm saying I really don't think he cheat. I really don't. Can't contest against like she in place. I'm surprised he didn't play the part about Scott. I guess because Scott being so silent, they really probably want them to come back. But now Scott called Quad about some woman he was at a hotel with. Quad admitted it. She said he called me up and said, "How do I keep this out of the blogs?" Quad told him, "Listen, get your wife. The main thing you want to do is get your wife." And that's how we got in the conversation of she saying, "I'm being miserable." Because my answer wouldn't have been your titties after she said I'm miserable. My answer would have been, you must be miserable because you done filed for divorce 3, 4, 6 times. You done filed for divorce at least 3 times that we know of. Allegedly. One time you lied on camera and did not file. You filed a year later when we wasn't even around. And then you canceled the divorce proceedings right before we started filming, a few months before we started filming. Per Simone. These are Simone's words. She looked it up. She said she got to ask her. I don't think she'd lie about it. I don't think that. I really don't. I know he ain't got no kids, but I'm saying I really don't think he cheat. I really don't. So I presented that, and Contessa was like, what? And Quad said, yes, that did happen. He called me and I told, and it looked like Contessa already knew, but Contessa was already pissed with Quad. That's why when he went backstage, looked like she was happy that Simone was saying these things to Quad because all that had already transpired. Quad backed it up. She was like, yes, he called me. It ain't no lie. Why would Scott call Quad? This was years ago, though. This was maybe before the last season she was on. But he called her and said, you know what? These people saying they got some receipts on me that I was at a hotel room with this woman. How do I keep that from going to the vlogs? Quad said, I don't know this particular blogger, but go get your wife, explain to her what it is. So you get her on your team before any of this come to pass. Now, it never did come out. It never did. I never saw it. But Scott did call her with that. So that's what it was. So I presented that, and Contessa was like, what? And Quad said, yes, that did happen. He called me and I told, and it looked like Contessa already knew.
Okay. All right. So basically Heavenly is saying that they cut this out during the reunion show, but you know, you was making it seem like I was lying on your husband. But if I was lying on him, then why was he calling Quad asking her about how to keep some cheating shit out the blogs? Like, and then Quad doesn't lie, backs it up. Because at the end of the day, Contessa, you was over there backing Letitia and Gregory up. So, you know, I guess we can just be honest then. We're not protecting nobody's feelings, right? So let's just be fucking honest. Yeah, he called me and asked me that. They should have talked about it. Because the truth of the matter is, I'm tired of Contessa over there acting like everybody just overreacting and lying on her fucking marriage, bitch. We can see. Child, listen. Now they talking about Damon. Oh, she deflecting. Let me tell y'all something. At the end of the day, if somebody can provide us some proof that Damon was out here doing something, then go ahead and show. Go ahead and show it. But up until then, I could believe her saying, I don't think my husband cheats. Because at this point in life, it ain't, don't nobody want to be out here in these streets. Let me be real with y'all. Men like Damon, if he was to cheat, it would have happened when he was younger. It would have happened by convenience, meaning some woman at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't have been like, oh, I'm just out here cheating with all these little young. It's not Kirk. Like, Damon is not Kirk Frost. So he's not down to the strip club, down to the bar looking for a little young thing to throw $5,000 on so he can fuck her in privacy and in peace, and she not gonna say nothing to the blogs. Like, that's not it. That's Kirk MO. Okay, that's some of them other M's and them's MO. Okay. Damon is one of them old school niggas. The cheating probably already happened. It will probably be with a woman who has equal shit to lose. So she would not ever want her business to be out there on Front Street. And at this point in their lives, Damon is probably not cheating. They're older. Women are exhausting. Young women are exhausting. You know, everybody always wants some fucking money. They want talk. Damon don't even seem like the type to be wanting to do all of that. Damon seemed like more so the type to go and pay for a stripper to have a cute little conversation with, and then also make her, you know, Lysol her body before she touch him. You know, he low-key be giving me like, you know, I'm a germaphobe. That's why I don't even want to be around some of you hoes. Like, y'all might feel like she lying, but I could absolutely believe that Damon is not out here, you know, cheating on her at this point. Y'all heard what I said. I said at this point. Okay. And that is because they are older. Now, there are always like exceptions to these rules, but it just depends on if the man has the energy and the wherewithal to go and deal with the young women out here that he would have to be dealing with in order to cheat. And I think y'all really underestimate how exhausting people are. Damon looked like he don't have the energy for whatever the fuck these young girls may want him to do. Like, I ain't got time for none of this. Okay. All right. I'm just saying. So I could believe her when she says she don't think her husband is cheating. But I can also see the other side of that, which is like, you're a grown ass man and grown ass men do whatever the fuck they want to do sometimes. Okay. Oh, y'all, listen. Y'all know we're gonna have a BondyBlue show tomorrow because we absolutely gonna have to talk about this situation, girl. Domestic police report followed. No, not Amy. No, not Dwight Howard. No, I would have never guessed. I'm shocked. It's a surprise. Oh my God. Nah, I'm gonna run it tomorrow. Okay. But anyway, I fuck with y'all. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the show tonight. Please don't forget to follow BondyBlue Bites. Subscribe to both of my channels, please. Thank you so much. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram, please. And thank you. Like the video, support. I appreciate y'all. And I will see y'all tomorrow in the next video. All right.